Hi, it's David here with Futures Trading. I'm going to read the live conditions with you, but give me a moment. I want to cover some of my information for my private community. Don't want to have to do two videos, so bear with me. Thank you for joining. So if you're new to the channel, I appreciate you stopping by. I got a lot of videos here for you if you want to take any of this information in, tons of information. This is the live threshold, so how far the candle will pull back before resuming the price action trend. You just need to be able to count to 10, and then the price action method. I use the majority principle, which states that the minority is compelled to follow. And then the chart scale, I'll teach you how to read your hard right edge of your bezel so you don't have to look left. You'll know where the market should turn at. Again, I need to read the chart to those that's new, but I want to cover some of the information for my private community here as well. We left off with that daily 3 months ago. All right, so we left off with that daily. You can go back and look at this video. You can kind of see it right there. That's that information here. So I snapped this picture from that video. All right, and that was on 10, looked like 1029, something like that. So this is the hourly, that's that daily, and that's those static levels. Now I have them imposed on this chart here. This is an hourly. I'm gonna show you kind of where we turn from that high, which was up here. We had contract rollover, and then we begin to roll over. And I told you, once they get to the static level, as long as they don't break that zone, they may show some sell pressure, and so they have. All right, so I'm gonna give you what they possibly may be up to at this point, because I know they're kind of compressing price from that high, as well as kind of how they lifted. I did the statics for the lift for my private community. All right, so if you wasn't able to be a part of the private community, you may want to consider that, but I'm gonna show you that as well. So this is the hourly. And again, I have the static levels imposed on it. I'm gonna show you what those levels look like, but this is that snapshot from that video. All right, and again, 3 months ago. All right, so they begin to turn down. Now I drew this zone. All right, now these are rotation zones based on that static approach, based on this hourly static approach. All right, so I did the daily for that video. These are those zones for that. All right, so we're coming down, and as you can see, there's that hourly. And of course, they, kind of came down here and they popped up like as if they were going to go up, but they hadn't got to the zone yet. All right, now this is that static zone, the static price levels. All right, I drew it inside of that zone using the daily static level. And then I drilled down to the hourly statics here. Okay, all you would do is remove the zero. And then I, of course, drew zones for that as well for the stop placement. All right, for the stop placement. All right, and of course they came down. That's them coming into that zone. All right, now remember I showed you the photo from the high using the daily static, and then I gave you where they should bounce at using the hourly, the more so for the intraday. So where they should bounce at, they hit that zone and they popped out of it. All right, and that's them going back towards that high, and then of course we ended up going up again. All right, now this is that information. I kind of just, I guess, highlighted, where they were hitting the static, so came really, really close, so you don't have to try to drill in and try to see it for yourself. You can pause the video, you're more than welcome, but I tried to go in here and just highlight where you can see the cyclical bounces or turns. Again, this is an hourly chart. All right, now these are the static levels. Now this is what's happening from that high, from when they came back up off of that zone and kind of swinging around. All right, now here's that daily. Let me show you that daily chart. There's something I want you to take a look at here, and this could end up happening. I don't know. All right, and when I say this, I'm giving respect to what the market can do. It can do whatever it wants to do, but I want to show you that the market is not as random as one may think. All right, just want to tell you that. So let's see what we got going on here. For some reason, I'm unable to grab that, but that's okay. So from here, when they made that decline before, okay, again, I got a couple years on this. They turn the corner. Now there's bars with threes on them. All right, they have threes on them. Now what I'm looking for is for them to trap. Okay, put that three on the inside and trap that. For those who have the indicator suite, it would be your, now this is for my private community. I don't want to do two videos. And there's some information about this, my private members, that I'm not going to go over in this video in total. You should have received at least an email from me about some of the other details, but we'll cover them at a later date. The community at large here, my broader community, this is just two of the indicators in the indicator list. I got tons of them, all right, tons of them. But the arrow is the percent bar for the daily, and that three you're seeing is your bar risk daily. So you can just use that if you have the indicator suite. Just use that. Throw that bar risk daily up there, and you'll see the three pop up. These are single bar plots. So the moment the bar closed, the text come in and let you know that this is important. Okay, so then they trapped that three, came back for the revisit, and then turned the corner and went up. All right, you're not getting any threes, and then you got it here. Now, this is what I want you to pay attention to. This right here, this information right here. Let me scroll this chart. Okay, yeah, I need that scroll bar. All right, so here we go. So then they get up here. They made this high, and this is when they did that nasty little decline. They broke that bar with that three. Okay, they broke it. Okay, and then they came in right under that break, and then they took off, and then they did it again. All right, so then they did it right here, and then of course, it kicked off to the upside. Now, this is what I want you to take notice of. I warned you guys in a couple videos prior to my departure, because I had left again about 3 months ago. But prior to that, I told you what this is. I told you what this is in the broader community. I told you guys, and I said typically they come in and they'll turn the market, or they'll come in and then they'll push, and then you just got to be careful because that's them coming into the market. And so they turn the corner. Now, this is our high. Okay, this is our high, and this is what they're currently doing. All right, so it looks a little bit familiar as to what they did last time. Notice they're trapping that three. Okay, now this is that three, and they broke past it. It's on the inside of that turn, and they broke past it. Okay, so it's inside that shoulder, and they broke past it. They're coming in on this bottom, but it's not inside the shoulder itself. They actually put one up here inside the high, inside that shoulder here, and they're moving down as they did here. They put it here inside that shoulder here, and they broke past it. They're getting trapped right between the before they poke their head right above that. It's a blue bar up here. Well, I'm gonna show you some photos about this. It's a blue bar up here. I'm gonna show you some photos about the 1 minute, because there's some information for my private community I need them to know. But here it is. They're getting trapped right under our percent bars, right above, and below the percent bars. But now they're coming back this way, and they're trapping again. Now, given that they came in right here, okay, they came in right here, and they're trying to get above it. My thoughts on this, and I'm just going to say this for you guys here at the broader community here. I would like to see them get back above here, to even think that they'll get here. I did say in the video 3 months ago that I do believe that they can give us a new high. I believe that they could, but it's how they've managed to move down. And then, of course, this process that they got going on here is a problem, because I didn't expect them to want to come back past here. I didn't. And they're doing just that. So let's see, what they'll do here, because the last time that they did this, let's go back and take a look. The last time that they did this, it looks very similar to this information here. All right. It looks very similar. All right. So I just want you guys to kind of know this. And I may come back and cover Bitcoin, because I know a lot of you is talking about Bitcoin, silver, gold, and all of that. And so I may come back and cover that at a later date. I'm not going to keep, delivering content. I'm going to take a break again, because I want to make sure that the information is being appreciated. So I'm going to come back probably, sometime this month, give you another video probably about Bitcoin, maybe silver, and we'll talk about some of that other stuff. But for the NQ, for those that trade the NQ, I want you to see something here. All right. They came in right here under that high. They broke past it, kind of did that same behavior here. And then, of course, here they came in under the pivot and dropped it. So I just kind of want you to kind of keep that in mind. Now, we're going to read the real time, but before doing so, let me do this for my private community here. I gave you guys your percent bars, and again, you just saw the percent bars on your daily. All right, so I got them here. It's the bigger arrow. It's a little arrow up here too, if you can see it. If you can get them both to come in, together, fantastic. Now, typically, they shouldn't come back past that bar here. They kind of leaned under it, and then they came back with it. All right. But directionally, I tried to grab right at 9:30 on each one of these snapshots that I'm going to show you here. All right. So if you want, just pause the video, but use that information. Use that. I got the blue bars on this chart if you just want to see the blue bars. But that's the percent indicator here. This the bearish and bullish one. Not percent, but bearish and bullish indicator. You can kind of see the text here. You can play with these again. I would prefer you to try to combine them. Like they came in here, kind of a little further down, but they gave you a nice big run there. Single bar plots. The moment that the bar closed, all right, and here you kind of getting your blue bar with this one. The moment that the bar closed, if you can get that both of them to come together. Now again, these are bar plots. The moment that the bar closed, it's there. All right. Now the blue bar, it takes the majority. It takes what I'm going to show you on this chart, but there's just a little nuance to the blue bars. Okay, it's something I'm putting into that to say, hey, if this bar does this, I want you to color the bar blue. It's important. All right. So and there's another snapshot for you. So please go and use your percent bar for your 1 minute and your bearish and bullish indicator, and you can even use that no touch no close mark x mark the spot trend bar color. All right, is a bar color for that. The bigger arrow, again, the bigger arrow is your percent one. Here's two of them coming in. Here's two of them coming in, and it just chases on. Kind of just show you a few days here. I tried to put the dates up here too, so you can kind of see that. And again, from 9:30, I'm trying to make sure you can get it from 9:30. Here's both of them coming in together. They made the blue bar when this closed here, and they pushed up even further. Came in on the top. There's both of them there. You get to drop down. You got all of it here. All right, so you'll have to go back and just take apart your chart. I just wanted to do this way so I don't have to scroll through the chart. Just a little bit too much information for me to have to go through. So here's again both of those signals here. Tons of indicators that I put into that update. So if you don't mind, go ahead and take a look at the new update. Just take a look at it and see if it's something that you're interested in. Here's them coming in. Here's a little bit after 9:30 here, but then you get that big run. All right, so that's all of that. Now, for those that's new to the channel, I'm going to go ahead and read this chart to you. They're at the center of the chart. All right, they're at the center of the chart. I'm going to teach you how to read your bezel, that hard right edge. So if the majority comes on, there's a pressure. So when I say the majority, if the mid of the candle, here's what we're looking for. If the mid of the candle to go up, the mid of the candle to go down, you'll see a pressure come on. So if we're going to go down, we want the mid of the current candle, 50% of the current candle in transition to fall below the prior candle. That should turn red. You're actually getting a couple other things happening here, which is the big wick, little wick. All right, so you're getting the big wick, little wick. This is important to find majority on the chart. Again, the majority principle states that the minority is compelled to follow. I want to make sure that you understand that. Every professional field have procedural information associated with it. All right, so when you go to the doctor, he perform a procedure. You go to court, they have proceedings. The marketplace is the same thing. All right. So there's a professional way to do something. All right. There's knowledge that's needing to be exercised to perform the task. And I want to make sure that you understand what you're looking at. So if you're having problems with reading the chart, there's an official way to do it. All right. And I want to make you aware of what that looks like. And then you can layer on whatever information you prefer, whether it's order flow, oscillators, moving averages, you name it, you can put it up there. But the most important part is that you must first understand what's available to you. What is the market currently telling you to do? It suggested that it wanted to push down, but it's coming back this way. I can understand that. We have two trends on the board. We have a downtrend, which is indicated with this little dot, and the trend is 7 bars. All right, so we want 7 bars closing lower. All right, that's here. I got all the information for you here. Or we want 7 bars closing higher than the prior. All right, so we want it closing lower than the prior or higher than the prior. They have a downtrend here. Now, if they're going to go down, they're at the center of the chart. They made a trend here. They can't break the trend if they're going to trend down. Now, I do suspect that they may go ahead and move back up, but let's just see. That's saying that they will get here. I'm going to just leave that blue. That's saying that they will get there. Let's lock it, though. Let's lock it. All right, so let's just lock that. I'm going to leave it blue. All right, and then they have a trend up. From here, go to the dot. All right. And again, all of this is a part of your indicator suite. Everything that I'm showing you is a part of your indicator suite. If you want it, $100. Don't want you to spend $300-400 on one indicator. I'm gonna give you 300 indicators for $100 if you want it. It's totally up to you. You don't need it. I'm trying to teach you how to read the chart without it. All right. It's really important that you get that. All right. So here, they made the trend distance. All right, they pretty much got there. If you go from here, and let me unlock this just for a moment because they kind of dropped back just a little bit there. Okay, they made it. All right, but let's just go off the trend bar. All right, so it's telling you the market is actually illustrating to you how far it's willing to go. Really important that you get that. So now let's go with the center of the trend. The center of the trend is roughly about right here, and they kind of pass it here. But let's just kind of go here. Center of the trend is there. Now, will they, come up here, not break this high, turn around and come back under here and begin to fall? I don't know. I suspect that they're going to go up. I mean, they're working on another trend, if you will, to get back up from what I'm seeing, but they're at the center of the chart. And again, I want to make sure that you understand this. This is your bezel, all right? From the hard right edge, you can get an idea of where the market can become cyclical and begin to turn and respond. You don't have to look left. So we don't have to go historical. We don't have to go really far back in order to know what's available. The bars are going to turn green and red based on majority. So if majority of the candle, the live candle that's trading, if it's able to exceed the prior candle, then majority has stepped into the market to try to push it in that direction. They cannot be on both sides of the market. So one side must fail, or if you will, one side must prevail. Let's look at it that way. All right. So clearly this didn't work, so they went past here. So maybe, just maybe, this is what's really going to happen. Hold on, let me grab this. Uh-oh, grab the wrong thing here. Hold on, grab the wrong thing. Uh-oh, didn't mean to do that. Got a couple of the charts running here. Do bear with me. All right, so that's saying that they're going to get here. All right, so this one didn't work. So that's saying that they're going to come past that trend that's down. That's what it's suggesting. All right. Now, typically, now I want to say this to you. I like the bars with the color for the threshold. All right. So if you're going to do the wick zone, okay, because this is how far the market will pull back. So if you're looking for the market to pull back and resume, you will want to see it come down and then take off. You'll want it to see it pull up and then take off. All right, that's acceptable. All right, so this is the acceptable zone, if you will, for a retrace and let's go again. All right, I want to make sure that you get that. All right, so they're at the center of the chart. Can they get above it? You got your rotation down. All right, so the market actually pushed down, but they're unable to get back down to the lower portion of the chart. And again, if you're dividing your chart, you're doing it from the bezel, this hard right edge. All right, it's suggesting that it's going to go here. Okay, now the mid is above this bar, so it could turn green. When this bar's finished, this bar will turn green. You're going from the mid of your chart and you're dividing it in half. Really simple stuff. And then you're going from the mid of your chart to the upside and you're dividing this in half as well. Now, once you're able to accomplish this, all right, should the market want to remain bearish and stay down, you would divide the lower half one more time for good measure. All right. And if they can just stay under here, just be fantastic. And if it's going to go bullish on you, you want to see them get up here and just stay up here and just be fantastic. Sometimes when they get to the center of the chart, it can still get back up, but you're losing momentum. Just understand that you're losing momentum because how far they come, they could end up making a what trend against your trade. All right. You don't really want two trends on the board. That's when it's not fun. I do go over how to go about that. All right. I do teach my traders in the private community how to deal with two trends on the board. It's not as difficult as you may think. If you can pick up what it is that they're doing, then I suggest you, take it with you. But I definitely want to tell you, it's not really, really difficult, but you definitely want to incorporate your chart scale. All right. So that's saying that they will get this far from here, from the trend that they just made. All right. All right. So let me remove some of this information here. I don't want all of this stuff on the chart. All right. So let me just remove some of this stuff. All right. So now they had a trend down. Clearly, they just ran this one over. So this one didn't work. All right, that one didn't work. They're still not away from the center of the chart. So is it possible for them to go down? Well, we'll just have to see. Now they made a trend here. All right, so can they just remain above the center of this trend here? Let's see if they can remain above the center of this trend. Let's just see if they can do just that and not come down too much lower. All right, so From above, clearly 930 was somewhere here. Again, I'm not going to go historical on you too far here, but you can see there's your trend dot. They pulled up to what? The center of that trend, and then they turned down and they begin to fall. All right. You do not see an uptrend in any of this until they got here. All right. Now, do you hold it for all of this? You could. It's very much possible that you can. There's various different tactics that I can tell you as to how to stay in this the whole way down. Uh, the most important thing I do want you to take away from all of this in order to try to stay in it is this. Try to get them to just pull into that bar and take off again. Okay, just try to get them to do that. It's really important that they do so. Now, before they made this trend down, let me give you some of what the news was. All right, so here's that news at 8:30. All right, they had a blue bar here. They had a couple blue bars back here. All right, they had one here. They had one here. They had one here. I'm just kind of show you some of that again for those that have the indicator suite. All right, for those that have it, it would be your no touch, no close X mark the spot trend bar color. All right, and there's a text associated with it if you want to use the text. They had a blue one here. They managed to hold this blue one here, so they held this one. Okay, they came back with another one here, and then they had this one here and they did not break it. All right. Now I'll put the crosshairs on it. You can look up here in the upper left hand corner and you can see the low of the bar, which is 237.50, 238. All right. So they came really close to the back of that. And then boom, there's your news. All right. So now they managed to give you one here after 9:30. All right. And they got one. Oh, well, actually, they got a couple of them up here. So let's just see how they're going to play this. All right. They had one here. You had a couple of them back here. I believe they overshot this one here. Low 11, 111. Low. Yeah, they shot it by 2 ticks. That sucks. All right. But you had your increase back here. And again, your increase is based on your large wick, small body, big body. All of this is illustrating the same message, right? Same message, three different ways that'll show up on your chart, illustrating the same message. All right. It's really important that you get that. All right. So they pulled into your wick zone and they're pushing back down. This bar could turn red here. It could turn red because the center of the live candle currently is below this bar's low. All right. If that be the case, you'll want to put the stop here and see can you begin to trail it down. Kind of what they did here. It's not necessary that it will go. It can turn right back around and go back up because why we're coming back into this trend here. However, there's a couple things going on with this move here. All right, that's all. We had the increase off the top. There's the IN up there, and of course they're coming with these blue bars. And the blue bars are really important. And again, they have one here, and they have a couple of them back here as well. So can they remain? Can they remain above the lower half of this chart and just kind of work their way back to the upside, even though they set that downtrend out there and ran it over? It's possible that they can set another one out here and run it over as well. It's possible. Or they may come right back through here. All right. And I showed you the daily before we got started here, just to give you some context as to what it could want to do. All right. So you had them do it here. They kind of pulled into this when that bar closed just a little bit here. And they came back out of it. I do suspect they're going under that, and they did. So now let's see if they can keep going. The pressure is coming on, saying they will continue down. All right, that's what it's saying. But well, let's just see. Let's just see. Again, they get ready to run into these blue bars over here. It's still above this, lower half of the chart. You might can get them to rotate back up, possibly, and get back above the center of the chart and go again. I don't know. We have to follow the chart. All right, that's really important. So they're coming off the low. Let's see if they can keep going. If they're going to keep going back up, they shouldn't come back past this low of this bar. Let's just say it like that. All right. So they shouldn't come back past the low of this bar. If they're going to turn around and go right back up, let's just see if they're willing to do just that. All right. We don't want them back past the low of this bar if they're going to turn around and go back up. Clearly, you don't want them absorbing their attempt to go up. If they're trying to go up, let them go up, and so that's important. All right. Now let's see what they do when they come into this threshold. All right. Location, yeah, kind of makes sense. They haven't put a trend down here yet. I don't like what they're doing. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like this sitting up here, and it's still somewhat located. And it hasn't really went far above the center of the chart. It's still kind of just sitting here. All right. We want to see them perform. That's all. Kind of what they did down here. They ran away from this lower half of the chart. You want to see them kind of get above here and just run away. They did fairly well with this. All right. So they did get really close to that target from this information here. Remember, we had this set here. All right. Now, again, I hope that you find this information well if you're new to trading. All right. If you're new to trading, I know those that's been on the channel for a bit, you know this information, but I'm hoping that those that don't know how to trade, that you find this information well. They're trying to come out of this threshold here. All right. Again, this is procedural information. So it's not random. It's not, hey, let me just see if, I can get this to work. No. We want to know, where is it likely for the market to respond? Where is it likely? All right. And that's all. Where is it likely for it to respond? That's where you would want to be. Now, once it responds, what's the next thing that you would want to look for? All right. That's the other piece to the puzzle. What's the next thing that you would want to look for? All right. It's really important that you get that. Now, I'm going to tell you one more thing. All right. I'm going to just throw this in here as a bonus, if you will, if you stuck around and watched everything that I've said thus far since the beginning of the video. I put on the channel some time ago, all right, some time ago, but I'm going to give you a little bit more information. If you can find this on the chart, all right, and that's them going down. Doesn't matter the color. Doesn't matter the color. I want to say this to you. Doesn't matter the color. It's not about that. We're trying to get those lows and those highs to do that. All right. Now, this is going to help you with timing. Now, what I didn't tell you guys when I told you this is that they do not like to do 5 of them. All right. The market does not like to do 5 of these in a row. It doesn't. It does it. It absolutely happens, but it doesn't like to do it. So typically, your bar 3, okay, or your bar 4 will get a overshoot or a stop run. All right. So if you're trying to take the trade, okay, and you're not aware of how many bars in that direction you are, okay, as far as let's say congruence or adoption, if you will, from other participants who want to go in that direction. And this happens on any time frame, any market. Everything that I teach you will absolutely show up on any market, any time frame. It's small details like this that I cover on my private playlist, far more than what I will show you in the public setting. All right, I just want to tell you that. But here's just a little. Here you go, something to consider. Just something to consider if you're new. When you see the market wanting to put in 3 lows or 3 highs, and again, it doesn't matter the color, has nothing to do with that. All right, nothing to do with that. You will want to be certain that you're not a part of getting in this too late. All right. And you can pick when you want to get in it. You can pick when. That's totally up to you. But the goal is not to have them overshoot. You want to see them print this. All right. Now there's an indicator in the indicator list. I'm not going to put it on the chart. That'll find this for you. It'll absolutely do it for you. It'll plot the number 5 behind the scenario. So if it shows up, it'll plot a number 5 each time it does it. Okay. And so here we have 3 lows. All right. So that's 3 lows. Okay. Let's see if they get ready to overshoot or break this low, what we would call follow through. Are they get ready to break this low and then begin to give us our 3 highs from above? All right, now let's see if this get ready to happen. Okay, so yes, they broke that low because remember you had low here, low here, low here. Boom, there's your break. Now, here's where traders get trapped because now you got your break here, but now we're coming in on 3 here. All right, so you're coming in on 3. Now, remember what I just told you. They don't like to do 5 in a row. All right, so the market does not like to print 5 of these in a row. And hopefully now you can begin to understand why I'm telling you I don't like what they was doing here off the center of the scale. I don't too much care for that because you did 5 in a row. That's problematic. All right, so that's problematic. So now we have our 3. Four. Okay, now think about this. They're bringing four up. Bar number four. They're bringing it up off its lows. So is it possible that they're going to overshoot four if they close this bullish? Now I don't like this turn. I believe wholeheartedly that they can fall through it. I do. This turn is a problem. I teach this in the private community why this turn shouldn't work. So I can pretty much say to some degree they're going through this. All right. Do they have to? No. No, absolutely not. They don't have to, but this would be a problem, okay, if they were to go back up. Let's just say it that way. And if they were to come back, my traders know from the private community, target under here, they're absolutely going to run it. Don't be here buying this. If they turned around and went up and just went up, if they ever turned around, my traders would know, go right through this when they come back. Don't regard it at any point. Don't believe that this is a hole. All right, so they didn't. Now we got four. Okay, so they didn't overshoot it yet. All right, so we got four. Can we get five? All right, can we get five? And if so, we're repeating the same process that was up here. Okay, now if you want, you can rewind the video. I don't have the daily chart up. Rewind the video, go back and take a look at your daily, take a look at your hourly. If you like anchor charts, go up to your higher time frames, take a peek. All right, just take a peek because it happens on all time frames, and this could be helpful, extremely helpful for those who may be trading fractal analysis. Or if you're looking at 930 and you don't want to get suckered into the wrong direction, if you will, okay, we can take a look at 930 here, but I want you to kind of go back to your chart. Okay, so now we got five highs lower again. All right, so now we got five highs lower. Again, they don't like to do five. They don't. But you'll find that if they're able to do this, then that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's a really great thing, but they don't like to do it. Now, I do believe that they can blow this low. I do. I know we got these blue bars back here. See, now they're coming up really, really aggressively. Let's see if they could come into this turn because it's five here, hit that threshold and come back off that because now we got two. Okay, we got two in this direction. Let's see if they'll come off of this high, make us two back down, and then three, and see if they'll just go ahead and blow this bottom and come back down. That aggressive push up is roughly almost in total 124 ticks in this bar. So that's over 500 bucks, $600. So you don't need a lot of bars in order to get this to work. $99.21 is 25K a year. All right, $99. So you don't have to go and hold a trade forever. Who are you trying to impress? I want to show you how to just, can you time yourself into getting $99.21? That's $2,000 a month trading. Can you just pull that off? And it doesn't take the whole bar. You don't have to do that. So I want you to be just kind of focused, zero in on some of the smaller nuances. And there's tons of information that I disclose in the private community about the nuances of trading. There's small little things that the market does, and you have to make sure that you're paying attention. So here's one, here's two, three. They're not wanting to turn from this threshold, so they may want to just kind of reach back up towards the center of the chart. That's fine. Five, that's them hitting the gas. They were wanting to get this down, but let's see how they perform under here. All right, because they've came back with this trend, and then I must go. I don't want to hold this video too long, but I want to give you guys some useful information. Again, I'm not going to be before you long. I promise you I won't. And again, I'll probably give you maybe one or two more videos for this period of this month or whatever, and then I'll take another sabbatical from the channel. And hopefully you'll find the information useful. All right. And if you do, hit the like button. That's all you got to do. Support the information. That's the main reason why I leave. All right. That's the main reason because I don't like to waste my time. I don't. And I really want to help people find the right information, the right way of doing things, the procedural information. Again, remember, it's an established or an official way to do something. All right. So they're coming back this way. I kind of get it. You got blue bars here. I do think this is a problem. I just want to say that to you. So again, what I tell you, even if they go way up here, rally, 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 my traders will absolutely know if they come back to here on the way, do not be a buyer. All right, don't be a buyer. They will fall right through it. Let's see what they do up here. They knocked out this trend. I suspect that they can do it again if they want to. I don't like what's up here, but let's see. Let's see. All right. So now look at this bar. Okay. Now we got four. They may be able to give us that five. Now notice over here when they turned at first, you only had two. They dipped back. That could help you. Something as simple as that. You see if they can give you at least three. That's all. See if they can give you three. Don't jump in it on two If you want to just take, and I told you they shouldn't break this candle if they're going to go back. I did tell you that, but I don't like what's happening here. All right. I just want to tell you that. I just don't like. So they're going to probably going to have five at this point because I doubt this one is going to make it back down here. I doubt. I doubt that seriously. So we're probably going to get our five. So they're coming in with strength off this low, coming in with strength off this high, still at the center of the chart. And so far, we've managed to get stuck right in between here. So if you want to know where the market can become cyclical, here's your mid of your chart. Here's the lower portion of your chart. They never made it down here. And of course, they turn back around. Now, here's what I want to make sure that I say to each and every last one of you who's watching this information. If you're looking at your chart, all right, and again, that hard right edge, make sure you're using that. Don't kid yourself. This is very, very important. This is the foundational points of how to trade markets, and it's very simple. It's not complicated. Make sure you know where you're at on the chart, all right? Not left, right here on the right-hand side of the chart. Make sure you know where you're at. You see how they hit the center of the chart and they're trying to rotate? The next thing I want you to do is I want you to grab your scenarios. There's three of them here. Now, it's just fantastic if you can get all three in the same place. All right? Fantastic. We need the bar to be green or blue in this case, green or blue. And then we want the body. Now, my indicator is not going to get every last one. I tried to code it to the best of my ability, but it's not going to grab every one. But we want the body to fit inside of here at least twice. That's kind of the goal here. You want to fit the body in there twice. We want the wick to be bigger than the other wick. Fantastic. Okay, now we got the mid above the high. All of that is here. That's just wonderful. All right, so now let's take a look at what happened up here. Let me just unlock this so I can see what's behind all of this. The wicks are pretty much, yeah, actually the wick is bigger. Okay, fantastic. So now we got it all here. All right, so let me just try to sit this right here. We have the wick here. It's bigger than this one. We have the body being able to fit into that candle here more than once, twice. Okay, we have both of them showing up here. And then we have the mid below the low. Now, all three of them are here. There's your drop, and it accelerated down. All right, now remember what I just told you, and then I'm going to get off here. I know I've said that about 3-4 times here. I'm trying to see if they can get through here or go ahead and break that, but it's okay. They ran away from the bottom. Maybe they're going to work their way back down. That's three. Usually on 3 or 4, they're going to overshoot. All right, so that's three because I believe this high is above that one. Let's check. We got the high here, 56.50. Yes, so we did one tick above that prior high, so it's three. 1, 2, 3. Boom, there's your overshoot. All right, so there's your overshoot. So something as simple as that, and again, I told you the colored bars is ideal for your resumption. Try not to get in with, you can do it however you prefer. But if you're going to go with majority, just try to be with them where the stop need to be. Try to hide behind that and expect the response when they get there. We have our blue bars up here, so they respond is at the center of the chart. Kind of makes sense. All right. So that is my time with you. Again, I hope that you find the information well. If you would like to, go back and watch the video, and you'll see me talk about the information from the turn that they made prior to my sabbatical there. You'll find that I told you about that high. I told you that there's a chance that they will want to rotate down. All right. Now I'm coming back today. All right, I'm coming back today. Again, I may come back and go ahead and talk about the Bitcoin and the silver and gold because I know a lot of you may be watching that. So I want to give you what it is that I think about those assets. But I want you to take in mind what I'm telling you about the NQ. I think it's in a place, and given the behavior, this market is very sensitive right now to possibly do something really, really big to the downside. So if it's going to stay up, and this is just me giving you my thoughts, and I showed you the chart so you can make a deduction for yourself, kind of give your own assessment of it, as well. The behavior is very similar. All right. You could see them coming in with sides. All right. I showed you the bars with the 3 on it. Okay. Now the bars with the arrow again, they're important too. All right. Their behavior isn't exactly conducive to, get it up. And if so, I showed you what bar I need them to pass. All right. So I want you to kind of keep all of that in mind, and let's see what's possible moving forward. And again, I may come back again and hopefully the end of this week. Let's say the end of this. Well, actually, it's almost the end of this week. Let's say sometime next week, maybe. Let's give it a little bit of time here, kind of see what the daily want to do, make its mind up as to which direction it may want to head. I'll try to again double back, give you some more information. If you like what you're learning here, do your best. Do your best. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Make sure that you share this information with those that are in need of clarity when it comes to a chart. All right. That's what the channel is all about, clarity. You need to be able to see very distinctly what's taking place so you can trade with confidence. You need to be able to be confident that the trade will work because they will absolutely test your resolve. They're going to come back and they're going to try you. And you got to know, hey, I'm okay because it's procedural knowledge that I'm working with. All right. I wish you all the best with your trading. Take care.